What is going on, PPU fam? We got another battle here. We got the H-Town K's, the Houston Krokoroackets versus the CA Zards. And we're just going to hop in and see, and they are good to go. All right. And with us today, we have the coach of the Texas Toxpex, Frankie.
What's going on?
All right. And looking at the matchup, we see it's most likely a Specs Raikou, but it has to be worried about that probably especially defensive Volt Absorb Lantern. All right, Mr. Krabs. The Zards love leading with this. It's usually a Shell Smash Hazard Stack lead. Not the best with this Blastoise right here, which can Rapid Spin and threaten it immediately with the Scald. The Krokoroackets have that Terrakion in the back where it only needs Donphan a little bit weekend to win the game, basically. But they have to be worried about that Gyarados right away. Alright, Scald does come out, and we notice that it is a Volt Absorb Lantern to completely shut down that Raikou. He could just go for a free Volt Switch here to gain momentum. Alright, Miltank comes in, the Moo on a Volt Switch. So now we'll see what can be brought in. Miltank is going to be physically defensive by the looks of that damage. Probably not offensive, since it doesn't have that much of an offensive presence. Gyarados can't come in on a fear of Toxic unless it's sub Gyarados. Alright, Snorlax comes in. We do see the leftovers on Miltank, confirming that it's probably physically defensive. Snorlax is banded here. It can just pick up a kill, but it's most likely going to be Cursed Snorlax, as the Zards love running that. We'll see what happens here. Miltank.
Well, you didn't bring the freaking cheese whirlwinding Crobat. Couldn't even believe that.
Throws off a superpower and gets a crit. And that actually might be banded damage if this is physically defensive. Yeah, that Crobat just completely shut down your team. And you made that one big misclick on Rain Dance instead of like Surf on Omastar. Which, it happens, man. It happens to the best of us. Alright. Alright, so a Curse does come out, and it gets rid of the Superpower drops. That's interesting. Superpower with Curse. So we're going to see what happens here. Bonehead. This is going to probably sit there. It can't really damage Snorlax. Snorlax kind of goes in besides that Terrakion. And he tries the Toxic, but it's an immunity Snorlax, which means it can't be Toxic. That's a really smart tech right there. Usually Snorlax is thick fat, but doesn't look. Oh, it gets another crit. A Whirlwind does come out, and Mr. or should I say Mrs. Krabs comes into the battle now.
Yeah, really?
Crits in Gen 5 were the last gen to have it be double damage instead of just 1.5 times. So that crit actually did a monstrous amount. 2 crits for the Snorlax already. The Krokoroackets look to be part of the Shadow Triad here. Alright, Whirlwind does come out, and Donphantastic comes into play now. Now he's got to keep Donphan healthy, cannot have it risk losing leftovers or anything, because otherwise Terrakion is a big threat. And unfortunately, Ice Shard just is not strong enough and does not pick up the KO on the Mandibuzz here. And the Mandibuzz is able to roost off any damage. Now sitting at above half health, throws off a Toxic as Donphan throws off a Rock Slide, but it's not going to be doing much to this physically defensive Mandibuzz. The Zards need to switch out here in order to keep Donphan alive to be able to check Terrak, and the Krokoroackets are in a good position. Yeah, being able to throw off free foul plays, now going to be able to roost. So if the Zards want to capitalize on anything, now would be the turn to go into Lantern or Zoroark. Throws off an Ice Shard and gets another crit. Jeez, the Zards are really cashing in the good luck charms, huh? That is very unfortunate for the Krokoroackets. Blastoise comes into play. Lantern is probably going to be coming in on a rapid spin from the Stoise to spin away the rocks. And that is exactly what happens here. And now the Krokoroackets are most likely going to go into either Raikou or Tangrowth to take this Volt Switch. If they go Raikou, it's not the best position as Lantern. Actually, we'll see what happens. Because if the Lantern decides to just stay in and go for a discharge, alright, yeah. Your boy String Cheese comes in on a Heal Bell. Alright, that was a good play to keep Donphan's get rid of the Toxic, but Donphan is still pretty weak here. So Lantern actually is faster than Tangrowth and will be able to Volt Switch out first unless this is a very fast Tangrowth, but I don't know about that. It's most likely going to be a defensive. Your boy String Cheese. So we're going to see what happens here as he does Volt out doing 20%, so that confirms that it's not especially defensive. It might be offensive because Tangrowth does have the stats to pull off an offensive set with 100 attack and 110 special attack. But its special defense is just so awful. And its speed, it's not that good either. But all of its other stats are amazing. So we're going to see what happens here. Mr. Krabs comes back into play on a Sleep Powder miss. Now that is unfortunate, and the Krokoroackets are once again getting very unlucky here. Which is very unfortunate for them, as this is a battle that they should be able to win. Alright, they do not miss a second Sleep Powder, putting Mr. Krabs asleep.
Very slow.
Yeah, and that confirms it is Crustle and not Zoroark, because we never know when that Zoroark might come into play here. Zoroark, if it is like a special set, does really go like wreak havoc on the Krokoroackets team. So we're gonna see what happens here. Probably a Giga Drain or Leech Seed is gonna come out as the Krokoroackets love running that physically defensive Tangrowth, and a double into Leonardo happens. So we have a Blastoise against Snorlax now. It is, and it's actually Zoroark, but it gets Dragon Tailed out. That was a really good play. Now Fish Stick comes into play. Surprising he's running Dragon Tail and not Roar, just in case for that mischance, as he has been very unlucky. It works out in this turn, but yeah. So Fish Stick does not want to be in here right now, because Leonardo can just like Dragon Tail it out, Toxic, threaten it with a Scald Burn. It is not looking good for the Zards in this positioning. Lantern can come out, but has to be worried about that. That's an interesting move to have on a Gyarados. I mean, it is a neutral hit on everything, but whatever. Alright, Mr. Krabs comes back in, and it's sleeping, and it's most likely going to stay asleep for the rest of the match because of Gen 5 sleep mechanics. So we're going to see what happens here. The Krokoroackets are just in a great position right now where they could just throw off free Scalds without a worry. They could continue to Dragon Tail. They could do those two things very comfortable. Yeah, which, knowing their luck, it can happen. Alright, let's see what happens. Scald comes out, does 12, does not pick up the burn, unfortunately for them. And now they're in a position to where they need to probably go into Fish Stick here. I mean, String Cheese, as a Volt Switch will be coming out. And I'm guessing Volt Switch is going to come out on the Tangrowth, and then Zoroark could come in and just throw off a free Flamethrower for some damage on anything. And if the Zards continue to get their luck... Oh, okay. And Tay, the Raikou, comes in on a Heal Bell, waking up Mr. Krabs. Okay. But this is not the best for the Krokoroackets here, because it's a Volt Absorb Lantern, and Lantern can throw off some Scalds here or do whatever. This is a check to Raikou. Raikou does not get Earth Power. What's funny though is in the new game, Sword and Shield it gets Scald, which is really interesting. I don't understand the premise of that, but it does. It's not released yet, but it's in its moveset for right now, whenever it does come out, which I think it does in June. Aura Sphere comes out doing 33% on a Volt Switch. Okay. So it does confirm that it is the Rash Raikou, which means it's like only has 329 base speed right now or something like that. It's not its full 361. All right, Mr. Krabs comes out, and honestly, it could go for a Shell Smash and be in a great position. Yeah, but the thing with the Zards are they like running Rock Slide and not Stone Edge, so it's probably not going to be picking up any KOs anytime soon. But it is the White Herb, and it could get a Rock Slide flinch. They've already used their luck for the match. We're gonna
Both moves can miss, so I really don't understand the difference.
Stone Edge,
And the Stone Edge is 75.
Rock Slide 75 base power, Stone Edge is 100 with a high crit chance.
No, I think it's Stone Edge is 75 accuracy and Rock Slide is 200.
Alright, Rock Slide comes out, 90%, and it gets a Dragon Tailed out. But that weakening Leonardo is huge for Gyarados for a late game sweep. Dash DT, Stone Edge, let's see. Alright, in this gen it is still 80% accurate. It might have been 75 in like Diamond and Pearl when it first came out, because it is a really good move. It feels like 75, not gonna lie. Alright, String Cheese comes in on another Outrage. I don't really understand the point of the Outrage here, as he's now locked in. And it can be put to sleep. Another Outrage comes out. A Leech Seed comes out, and he got the 3-turn Outrage. So this Tangrowth is just going to be sitting here with just getting health back and damaging this Gyarados. Another Outrage. Puts it down to 60. It's probably going to be at 80% after this. Now, Dish Jig does get slept, so it has to switch out here. And String Cheese can just throw off some Giga Drains, as I'm guessing that's going to be one of their other moves. We're going to see what happens here. I mean, Zoroark, once again, like, if it comes in, it's going to do a lot of damage here. And with Raikou being Rash-natured, confirmed with that Aura Sphere, since it's an event move, it is now slower than Zoroark, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty big. So we're going to see what happens here. Zards have to switch here, right? You would imagine they would have to. The Krokoroackets are in a great position here, with their wall just sitting there, just dancing. Alright, Snorlax does come in on a Giga Drain, doing 59, okay. Oh, that's because it's Zoroark. Alright, yeah, I was about to say, what kind of Snorlax is that? So yeah, Zoroark does come in, but the problem now is it's very weakened and won't be able to come in on much more hits. It really should not have been brought in on any. It should be brought in on like free switches, but it's in now. Can throw off a lot of pressure. And we're going to see what happens here. Flamethrower is likely going to come out, and it will, I'm pretty sure, be able to KO the Tangrowth. It could possibly go for a U-turn, but I'm pretty sure it went for a Nasty Plot already. Alright, Flamethrower comes out, and it does pick up the KO on the Tangrowth. Raikou comes in, but it's slower, I'm pretty sure, because of the rash nature. Hopefully, for the Zards case, they realize that, as a Dark Pulse will do a massive amount. I don't think it'll be able to pick up a KO. It might, but Raikou has decent bulk for an offensive Pokemon. So we're going to see what happens here. Raikou probably is just going to throw off an Aura Sphere. Ah, okay, it is still faster. Let me actually... Alright, I'm going to switch tabs real quick, go to black and white. I have not done this before, but I need to know Raikou. Rash Nature is 329, so that might be a Scarf Raikou. I was right with the 329 speed, because I'm a nerd. But... what can I say? Alright, so it's probably Scarf Raikou with the Rash Nature. Alright, Pony comes in, Terrakion. Terrakion invites in Donphan, and then we'll go from there. He does, okay. the Krokoroackets throwing out their tank growth was not the best play because Donphan comes in and throws off a free Earthquake. There are no more resists. It will KO Tarak. Oh, okay. Lantern comes in and it's gonna immediately drop to an Earthquake. But Donphan should have came in there because it throws off an Earthquake. It will be able to a KO Blastoise.
Try and heal Bell like Gyarados.
It's not gonna be able to. Unless the Terrakion wants to try setting up a Swords Dance right here. Because, yeah, knowing the Zards, they really want to wake up that Gyarados. It might be a Scarf Gyarados, because the Zards have been known to bring that. We're going to see what happens here. But losing Zoroark for the Zards sucks, because that's mainly their offensive presence. Otherwise, it's a pretty bulky team. I mean, besides Gyarados, but Gyarados is asleep. So, misses a Stone Edge on a Heal Bell. I don't know why the Krokoroackets tried going for a Stone Edge there. That was not the play to do, as one has the miss chance, and two. Alright, yes, on a Hydro Pump miss. He might be locked into, I'm getting a challenge. Another Stone Edge miss. Well, I don't know why he's risking the Stone Edge. I don't think that crit mattered. It's a Hydro Pump. I just don't understand why he was probably locked in. He was probably banded, but why go for Stone Edge in the first place? There was no reason to risk that. I mean, yes, it's very unfortunate that he missed, but that was just not the play to do. Alright, so Miltank comes in. And we're going to see what happens here. That does really help the Zards. Obviously, I mean, Terrakion was the thing that was going to basically win him the game. But what did Stone Edge hit that like close combat didn't? Gyarados? Gyarados was asleep in the beginning. So like that made no sense to go for.
Right now why he didn't go for it.
Yeah, please. Please.
He goes, I missed 3 Stone Edges in a row. I go, why did you even go for Stone Edge? Oh, he doesn't have Earthquake.
But even close combat, like Stone Edge was just not the play to go for. I'm getting some insight here from the coach of the Texas Toxapex. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out because close combat would pick up a kill on anything. Nobody would want to switch in. I mean, we're past that play now, but I want to know what was going through his head there.
I didn't want to lower my attack and defense.
You would only
switched out.
It would only lower your defenses, and Terrakion's not supposed to live a hit. Alright, anyway, Raikou comes in on Stealth Rock. Alright, so now that actually helps a lot if it is a Scarf Gyarados. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be shitting on the Krokoroackets, but again, if he didn't want to lower his defenses, that was not the play at all. Because you did risk a miss on a Lantern that has super effective coverage on you. And you would likely switch out anyway afterwards. Like, you would kill the Lantern, what would come in? Terrakion?
The Donphan.
Oh yeah, the Donphan would come in after that. But if he kept his Tangrowth alive, which he should have, that would be the switch in there. And he had a Miltank to take some Earthquakes, because we know that's a fully physically defensive Donphan there. So it wouldn't be doing too much damage. But plays in the past. We'll see what happens here. That was the biggest play of the game, though. So we're going to see what happens here. Alright. So Miltank is most likely going to go for a Milk Drink here. To just recover that health, because it needs to be healthy if it wants to try to take on a late game Scarf Gyarados. Again, I don't know if it's Scarf, but just the way he's been playing it. Which then again, It is the Zards. They're known for wacky plays, so it could be wrong. But just looking at the team build, Snorlax also does win him the game. He could go into it right now and just start cursing up. Go for a curse, and then Blastoise will come in, try to go for a Dragon Tail, but have that negative priority that Dragon Tail has. Alright, Fish Stick comes in. Alright, is it Dragon Dance? If it is Dragon Dance, it does have huge win potential right here. But I don't think it is. I think he would have tried showing it off already. Outrage is not the play here by any means. Alright, Earthquake comes out, does not pick up the KO on a Seismic Toss. I don't know why he didn't try recovering there. In case it was Dragon Dance, I guess, but... Alright. And again, letting Tangrowth go was another big turning point in this match, because Tangrowth would have been able to completely stop this Gyarados. And yeah, here comes Scarf Raikou, and it could throw off Zards might think they could outspeed if it is Scarf, but they do have a Lantern sitting right there to take a Volt Switch. Oh, Batmanga joined the battle. What up? Whoever they are. Alright, so... let's see what happens here. This is a big turn. If it is, the Zards have to... I know they don't know that this is Scarf Raikou, because only a select, probably only me would realize that because of the fact that it's Rash, but...
Can't wait to battle you, Billy.
I know too much. Oh. Alright, we got the talk specs back on the phone. It's all good. Because of you actually hanging up, I realized that my phone is low on battery, so I needed the charge. Let me turn off low power mode. Alright, anything happen? A hidden power... What came out? I don't know what that could have been.
Hidden power.
It could be rock, maybe?
What is she?
It's not electric. It's probably rock, yeah. Alright, Stoys comes in on probably an Earthquake. Yep. It does eat it up because it's a physically defensive Stoys. And I was just... I won't say it on camera. But yeah, I did get some text from a coach regarding some Stone Edge misses. But yeah, this game is actually coming down to the wire. I really don't know who will win.
You can take out this dumb man and this Scald or not man, this Scald can kill.
Yeah, Scald will pick up the KO. And the Zards do have 2 electric immunities. Alright, Snorlax comes in. Burn? No burn. They got some cold water on the Krokoroackets side. So we're going to see what happens here. Snorlax can just... I mean, if it wants to, it could go for a curse, but like... Oh, there's a crit! Body Slam does take out. And I think the Zards actually pick up the win here. Because Raikou's going to come in, it's going to have to lock itself into a move. That being Aura Sphere to be able to... I mean, Aura Sphere is the best move for it to click here. But I don't... It might not be able to pick up the KO on Lax. And if it does, then Donphan can come in and probably just eat it up since it's not Specs. And go for an Earthquake. And this battle would have been a lot different if the Stone Edges did hit. Alright, Snorlax eats it up. Goes for a superpower. Raikou lives on 8, but now it's in Ice Shard range, so the Zards 100% win here. Yes, if the Stone Edge did connect, it would have been a whole different battle. Again, as I've been saying, there was no reason to go for that. He risked the miss in the first place. Aura Sphere knocks out the Snorlax. And then throwing out the Tangrowth to the Flamethrower was also not the best move there. But you live and you learn. And the CA Zards do pick up their another win on the Krokoroackets. What a match. This was a really good match. Yes, there was a lot of hacks in the Zards' favor, but that's Pokemon. And he's going to quit? No, he's not going to quit. He's just salty. He needs to cool down, then we'll talk to him. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to check out the next battles coming shortly.